Eyeshadow. Hello beautiful people and welcome back to another glam tutorial with me. I have the gorgeous Hilda in my chair today. Long time no see, girl. You're looking gorgeous. As always, flawless skin. We are going to be working with a fantastic graphic liner to match her beautiful oriental eyes and maybe pairing it with a nude lip or maybe a dark lip. Let's see how it goes. Let's have fun doing this. So Hilda's skin is primed beautifully. We've got a lot of moisturizer on there, making it soft and supple. Has your birthmark ever bothered you?
No, people actually compliment it.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't see the beauty in it?
Yeah.
Wow. First time I met you, I actually wanted to do like a look around your birthmark to replicate it on like different parts of your face as well.
Okay.
Maybe we should try that one day.
Yeah.
So I'm just applying a sheer layer of foundation on Hilda because her skin is pretty perfect. So foundation is just meant to even out the skin tone and make sure that it's all one shade before adding the contours and the highlights. That same shade to just build a bridge on her nose, just to give her a very soft contour, and also putting a bit of that cream contour shade into her eye crease, just to begin the foundation for her eye contour. You can use a clean brush or a blending sponge to just blend out everything you've applied. Ideally, you don't want any lines of demarcation to be visible, because the contour has to appear very natural. So what do you do when you're not on photo shoots?
I'm trying to start a course here in a class.
Oh, good.
I've actually decided to.
Oh, fantastic.
And I'm working on my acting career.
Acting, girl. Let's take a swing. That's good. Using a light face powder to set the areas that need it, that look a bit oily. And then using a shade of powder that's a little bit darker, matching the contour, that really defines it, makes it look a little bit more chiseled. I prefer to set my contour with a fluffy brush because that allows me to blend as well whilst I'm applying. And then for the nose contour, I'm using a shade a little bit lighter, not as dark as the contour shade, to just lightly set her nose contour. The idea is to try and move away from having a very dark line on either side of your nose. And back again with the fluffy brush to just set her eye crease. Now that I've set all the areas of the face, I'm going to go in with a dark brown and then just define her eye crease a bit further, setting a foundation of sorts for her eye look. So Hilda, what's one of the favorite looks that we've done together?
Oh, the eyeliner shoot.
The eyeliner shoot?
But that's the first.
Right.
When the
with So Aesthetics.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're going to lightly fill in the brow. I'm not going to go for the typical arch shape, you know, the typical beauty brow is the arch shape. I'm going to follow her natural brow and keep it going a little bit more straight, going towards the more oriental eyebrow, but not too geisha. So you can see at the bottom there, I'm trying my hardest not to make an arch. So I'm just trying to draw as straight a line as possible from the beginning of her brow to the tail. I'm using a flat brush and a little bit of her foundation shade to just neaten up that tail of the eyebrow. Think of your flat brush and your foundation or concealer like an eraser. So it corrects any imperfections, straightens out any lines. So I'm sure you guys have figured out brows are never identical. So you always need to add and subtract depending on the shape of your brow. So this one tends to be a little bit thicker, and this one I noticed is a little bit thinner. So I went back in and added some thickness to the bottom line.
I don't know if this thing is right, but some people use concealer to create strokes in the eyebrow.
Yeah, it's a trend. You know, trends come and go. So with very specific eyebrow shapes such as this, you do have to be very detailed. Make sure everything looks symmetrical, otherwise it might throw your look off. Okay, so now we're going to go into the look proper, which is creating the graphic liner. Now this tends to be tricky. So for you guys, I'm going to be using a light colored pencil. We're going to use that to trace the shape of what I intend to do on an eye before I go in with a black eyeliner and make that shape. This does take a little bit of practice and a steady hand, so don't rush into it, little by little. So now that I've drawn the outline of the wing liner, I've seen a couple of gaps of eyeshadow where I need to reapply into those patches to make sure that I don't do that after I've applied the eyeliner. So I'm going back in with that dark brown eyeshadow with a small, precise brush and just applying it in that negative space I just created. So you can see just with this step, it almost looks like we've created a winged effect with the eyeshadow. It almost looks like a really thick wing. So at this stage, we're going to start creating the winged eyeliner. And a very simple hack is using a black eye pencil first, and then using either a gel or a felt tip to really define the edge. So this again gives you a chance to correct any mistakes without going to a felt tip immediately. So you see that's a very beautiful outline that's been created. It's not perfect, but it gives a perfect outline for us to build onto. This look is actually inspired by a lady called Alexidolls, and she's done something like this on an entire face and built a pattern out of negative space. So negative space being that we're not filling out this, we're actually going around the outlines of what would be a liner. This stage, you can still correct any mistakes with your eraser, your flat defined liner brush, and a little bit of foundation or concealer. So now I'm going to add on top of that and really define that line with a felt tip liner and try and make the edges as clean as possible. The reason why I'm doing this on the back of my hand is to make sure I have as much of the black ink on the tip as possible. So I'm just pressing it so the tip doesn't get dry. And now I'm going to be using another liner. It's also a felt tip, but it's got a very fine point to go into the corner of her eye. These ones require a lot of stillness. That's why I always ask my model to close her eyes, not to talk, not to chew, not to do anything, because every movement is going to affect what I'm doing on her eye. Furthermore, if you have very wrinkly under eyes, a design like this might not work because it might crack and crease. So to each their own, but have your own way of doing it. I love Hilda's face. She doesn't flinch. She never flinched. My lines are almost straight. So now you can turn your model to either side and see what you need to perfect, the lines you need to straighten up. Make sure it's as symmetrical as possible, especially if you use the liner technique I taught you to trace out the pattern first. Thinking on the fly, I would say I could add a few polka dot kind of creations in the corner so that it would give a different dimension to a smoky eye. So I've just added 2 circular dots to either side of her face. One on the inner corner, a larger blue one, and one on the outer corner of her graphic eyeliner. And that's just to add a spot of color without drawing a line or anything, just to make it very minimalistic but still very striking. Now it's time for mascara. So I'm starting with the bottom lashes. You could use a colored mascara if you want. You could also attach false eyelashes to make it even more dramatic. But because I want this liner to really stand out and be noticeable, I'm going to do neither of those options, just mascara, no falsies. Now we're going to finish up this look with the lips. A little bit of baby lips to moisturize before I start drawing the lip line. can be styled and created in the same manner as we did the eyes. So you could create this same negative space concept where you would outline the lips with a black eyeliner and create the same look matching to the eyes. I just spotted a couple of beauty spots that Hilda has naturally, and since I'm creating these ones here artificially, I thought why not use what she has naturally. So they're almost like freckles, so they do not have to be perfect circles. Some can be different sizes, but in the name of creativity, this is a total fantastic look. Try it out, see how it works. Accentuate your freckles if you want. Now, just to make sure that the highlighter is really popping and prominent, I'm going to use several layers. So this is a creamy highlighting stick. I'm going to apply that to the tops of her cheekbone. I'm using a compact highlighter shade to just press that onto the spots I've just applied the cream highlighter to. I'm applying some of that same highlighter shade to the inner corner of her eyes. And then I'm applying another very golden shade of highlighter again on top of that, just to the very high points of her cheekbones. And now, as a finishing touch, I'm going to apply a little bit more of that contour shade right under her cheekbones, just to intensify it. And there you have it. Hilda is all done, looking gorgeous. A bit of a Nefertiti vibe, Egyptian, you know, a little bit of an Oriental vibe with the beautiful eyes, the little specks of color that we've dusted on her face, and a nude glossy lip. You can make this all your own, you know, just experiment with your creativity and have fun. And thank you guys for watching. See you later.
Hey dolls! Did you enjoy watching this tutorial? Join the Alexiglam family by liking and subscribing to our Alexiglam channel. Tap the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a new video. Stay connected by following us on our socials at Alexiglam and at Alexandrina Makeup. Happy recreating!